So now I'm in the pool. And here is the first tip. I can't help but make it a bit sexual. Hello guys, Daniel Baekkegar here, professional triathlete. Today I'm going to bring to you my top tips for getting you faster in the pool. So now we're in the pool, and my first tip for proper swimming or better swimming is balance in the water. I use at least a couple of hundreds every session just to find the balance in the water. So here you have the floating exercises. You have the windmill exercises to find proper rotation in the water, and you also have the pop-off drill. Okay, so with floating, I find it actually quite beneficial just to get a feel for your body in the water, like your position, like what you actually do with your body. Because often, I think most of you actually know that feeling of somebody filming you or whatever, and you think you do one thing, but actually it turns out you're doing a whole other thing, or your body looks way different than what it actually did. Or what you were thinking yourself. So that's a very good drill of getting just knowledge of your position in the water. The sinking exercise, that's just good to know, like breathing wise. Obviously when your body's full of air, you're gonna float better and you're gonna have a nicer position in the water. So also get to know how it is when your body do not have that kind of air, and also it just looks fun from everybody looking at you. So that's also a good thing. Then afterwards, I went to the windmill drill, the perfect drill just to get the proper rotation in. The more you rotate, the less body volume you actually have in the water, so therefore you create less drag. And it's nice just to find like proper rotation with that drill. Try and do it 25 meters and then switch over to just do normal swimming afterwards. That's a good way of doing it. And last but not least, the pop-up drill. That's good for just finding power in the stroke, do the proper breathing, the breathing following your rotation. And also that kind of feeling of being like on your side in the water and then switching fast to the other side like you would do in a normal pool. So that's an advanced drill that will help you a lot. So when it comes to swimming, you have to remember everything is linked together. So when you have the balance in the water, you've worked on that stuff. The next thing is breathing. And actually here we have the perfect example of how your head position should not be looking forward. It's very important when you do the breathing and also like when you just have your normal position in the water that your head stays down. So when you're breathing, it just lifts to the side. No lifting up or looking elsewhere unless you're doing a navigation in open water. So it's very important just to keep it nice and clean, moving to the side. So from here, you only go to tip number 3 if you're quite an advanced swimmer and you've worked a lot on your breathing and your balance in the water, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense to work on high elbows or catch or whatever. Those first 2 things are the key elements of swimming. Then when you worked on those, tip number 1 and tip number 2 for at least several years, then you can go to tip number 3, which is higher cadence in the water. It comes pretty natural. I guess a lot of you will actually feel it when you go from swimming in the pool to open water. Your cadence normally just goes up, and sometimes it actually feels like your whole technique is different than in open water than what it is in the pool. And that's what we want to avoid by keeping up the cadence or frequency, stroke rate in the water when you do the pool sets. Therefore, it will be less stress on your, or less muscle damage, and it will be way more the cardiovascular system we are going to target. One way that helps a lot, at least for me, is using a parachute. The parachute will make sure that you can feel directly when you do the swimming where you're not pulling. So our target is that you always have pressure on the water. So you're always constantly moving forward. And the parachute, when you swim with that one, you'll actually feel when you have areas around the stroke where you're not going forward, because obviously it will break you, the moments you're not pushing on the water. My last tip would definitely be to get a coach or eyes on you. So somebody standing on the pool deck who actually knows about swimming. It's money well spent. And I love it also just for morale, to be honest, when you do the sessions, that you have somebody watching the clock and will push you a little bit further. So now, talking about coaches, I'm gonna leave you or give the mic to my coach, Kasper Geil. So coach is one of the best people I know when it comes to developing talents, especially in swimming and triathlon. So coach, what's your best tip for improving your swimming?
I think it's quite important not to forget the details, actually. I think also when you become an elite triathlete or an elite swimmer, I think it's quite important that you always remember to focus on the small details and the minor details, both because it makes you a better swimmer, but also to keep up the motivational part about training, I think.
Amen to that. We need some motivation sometimes. All right, guys. See you next time. Remember to be the motherfucking greatest. Keep calm, strike hard.